Hello again, guys. Again, this is Keith Jordan making another video while sitting in traffic. And once again, making these videos, I don't know, I always come up with a different reason every time, so I might repeat some of them. I think it's a good use of time, just sitting here in traffic. Nothing else really to do. Just had a long day at work. Pretty productive, and my ears were very available, so I was listening to a couple psychology lectures and a self-development lecture. So I think the best way to digest what I listen to is to just kind of talk about it. And yeah, I think that just kind of goes with everything you learn in life. That's why you kind of take notes when you are in a lecture, when you're at school. And I think a good way is to just teach it. Michelangelo always said, the best form of understanding is teaching something. So here I am teaching what I learned. I was listening to everything very non-stop, so I probably only picked up like 20% of what I listened to or less. So not too efficient. So I was taking no notes or anything, but yeah, at least I could just kind of, again, regurgitate that. So the 3 lectures I listened to, one was about psychometrics and how I guess psychologists measure personality or intelligence or different traits. Those different traits are neuroticism and whatnot. And the second lecture after that was the truth about success. And I think the title under that was, how to not be a lazy slug. And it could have been how to carve out your time aggressively, maybe not. But then the third lecture was lecture 22. It was about psychology and belief. And yeah, that one was pretty interesting. And yeah, let me just kind of explain it as I remember. Since it was whole 3 different topics, I might just kind of, regurgitate it as my own understanding. So anyway, so the truth about success, that one, let's see, I guess it kind of goes with anything that you want to grow in your life, whether it be your career, your health, your craft, relationships, and I guess social awareness. Yeah, that one, let's see, some concepts. So the first thing off the top of my head I could remember is what was it? Yeah, so I kind of go into these videos without exactly planning anything, which kind of helps my impromptu speech, which is important, thinking off the top of your head. So, for some reason I get nervous even when I record myself, even though, I'm probably the only one that's going to listen to this. So, let's see, first concept that I learned, kind of had it. Okay, so it was talking about how human beings have a tendency to be lazy and they want to use the least amount of energy possible. So, that comes from, or an example of this would be, you go to the store or you see commercials on like, oh, the pill that makes you lose 7 pounds like in 1 week or something, and everyone always wants to find a shortcut. So the inventor of this pill, they're gonna just hire a bunch of marketers mostly. Like, the pill itself is probably made up of something really cheap. It could just be like solid caffeine, and it makes you jittery and you move around a lot, and that's how you lose weight, just pacing around, being restless. So people want to find the easy, quick way out, and throughout some people's life, like maybe some people who grew up in a wealthy background, they had no pressure to grow, so a lot of them have, I guess, what you can consider as like a weak mentality, or a weak mind, weak mental toughness. As to, a person who grew up in hardship, they're able to lose everything they have and easily get it back and reproduce it through slow and steady hard work. He also, the speaker that I was listening to, gave an example of where was I going with that? It's been a while since I made these videos, so yeah, well, you guys kind of get it. Kind of like, I don't know, you can think of organisms, maybe like squirrels that get really fat and slow because they didn't have to, crack any acorns, because, maybe they're around a lot of humans who just find them cute and they feed them. So that could kind of go for humans, where, if you always have the easy button next to you, then, you have no pressure to grow. You're just not going to grow in a lot of areas. So I'm going to cross over this concept into the other lecture I was listening to, which is about, it was on the tip of my tongue. I think it was conscientiousness. No, darn, I forgot that one too. I might be even kind of lazy to edit these videos to cut out all the pauses here. So, growth, not being lazy. So I guess, yeah, you have to put the pressure on yourself, and that pressure could just come through your true north, or maybe you have some family that's sick that's gonna put pressure on you to make money to pay those hospital bills, or yeah, I mean, you can think of a lot of reasons that could easily push someone to grow. Kind of reminds me of Peter Pan, and that kind of talks about an Oedipal complex. So America values independence from your parents. I mean, to a degree, there's a lot of cultures that have that too, especially in Northern Europe. But if you have like maybe it could be, I think, Latino cultures or Middle Eastern cultures are more collectivistic. I think some families in Mexico will say to their kids, like, if the kid had an opportunity to go to a very good college and they had to move away, then some parents could translate that as a betrayal, where they're just leaving the family and was one story he told me about. Yeah, if you want the names of these lecturers, let's see, they're Jordan Peterson and Tyler Durden, I think. You could, message me if you want the links or something. So growth, and I think you could discover some of these pressures to make you grow. One thing that was mentioned, Jordan Peterson said that it's easy to think that you're just a floating piece of dust among billions of other dusts that don't affect each other, not connected in any way. But he states that that's not the case, because we're all actual nodes in a network, and what you do and don't do has major repercussions around the whole society. For example, let's say throughout your life you affect 1,000 people, and those people, they have another 1,000 people that they affect. So your influence is in the millions and arguably billions when you multiply that. So yeah, that could add a pressure, a discovered pressure. It's like if you learned that, it's like, gee, like what I do and don't do, that's gonna, leave an impression on this person, and he's gonna react in a certain way to some degree and affect a bunch of other people. I think I mentioned this concept in another video. I can give positive examples. I guess the very existence of this video just kind of comes from me listening to other videos. So, Tyler, he basically affected me, and now I'm affecting you guys in some way. So yeah, growth and different pressures. I'm at 12 minutes here. I'm not sure how long you guys want to listen to me. Well, I try to actually push myself to talk longer, because these videos and these professors, they talk for 1 hour or 2 hours sometimes. I don't know how they do it, but time sure is passing by pretty quickly, especially with all this traffic going on, going up the 5 freeway. Let's see, what else could I talk about with growth? I could talk about something else that was not from the videos I listened to, but something I could practice explaining. It's something called icon worship. So when you look at the great people throughout history, Booker T. Washington, Nelson Mandela, and these people that are very influential, and they've changed the course of history for a reason, and they're in the books for a reason. So icon worship. So that's kind of a mentality that we can easily slip into. It's a mentality where you see these amazing figures and you say, well, only they can do that because they're amazing and they're really smart and I'm not. And that's not true, because these guys, being human, we're also human, and them being human, we're capable of the same thing, because they're also given 24 hours in a day, and they have their different strengths and upbringings, which were most likely very harsh, and they grew up in a very unfortunate societal situation. And so, think of Booker T. Washington. He spent his 24 hours just trying to accumulate knowledge and helping his fellow community people out by getting them focused on education to help out both the white people and the black people. He wasn't just only for the black people. He was wanting to benefit society as a whole. And so, he built some universities and had, everyone on both sides value education. So 24 hours a day, you kind of wonder, what was his schedule? So the question kind of goes back to me and you, what's your schedule? What do you spend, your 4 p.m. time doing, or your 8 p.m. time doing for 1 hour? Oh, now I remember. So schedules. I'll get back to that later. So, what would I do? I was trying to finish here. So, being human, you could accomplish great things also. And everything just kind of keeps connecting here. Icon worship. Don't do it. George Washington, Booker T. Washington, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi. You can do the things that they did. And let's see. Schedules. You can do the things that they did. Oh, and you ought to see where your unfair advantages are. What strengths have you been dealt with? Maybe you grew up in a background where maybe you had a really hard family upbringing, and so much about the trauma that came from that. You're able to help other people out of that darkness, or maybe you're still coming out of that darkness, and you can share your journey and your path with other people, especially in the foster care system. There's a lot of kids in there that need a lot of help, and there's ways you can get involved, and you can actually talk to me about that if you want to get involved. And so schedules. So this kind of goes to your personality. I know my personality, it's very anti-schedule, typically because creative people like myself, and open people, and maybe even agreeable people, these are some of the traits that Jordan Peterson would talk about. These traits are linked to stability and instability, and consistency and inconsistency in certain aspects of your life. So for me, being very creative, I get inside my head a lot. I'm very in the clouds of possibilities, where you just analyze things so much that you don't take any action. And so the best way to combat that is to set up a schedule. And at first, a schedule may seem very tyrannical. You're not trying to be a dictator or a tyrant with yourself. You ought to treat yourself as a person that you're negotiating with. So, if you do 1% better every day, let's say you got to do this thing that you got to do. Let's say going to the gym. That's a common one. So, how about, start really small. Put on gym shorts. Okay, I got home from work. I put on some gym shorts. Okay, good job. Now, Thursday, what are you going to do? Put on gym shorts and get in the car and drive to the gym. And then, you can go into the gym if you want, but now that you drove yourself physically to the gym, it's like, gee, I might as well go to the gym since I'm here at the gym. So these are, 1% improvements you can do. That's a way to negotiate with yourself in setting up a schedule so you could actually accomplish what you want to accomplish, because, everyone knows what they want, but, actually, planning the work and working the plan, that's the biggest challenge. It's hard to just do it. You kind of have to, for me, I put an imaginary gun to my head and say, you got to do this thing or else, you'll die. For me, that was the gym. Like, that was kind of true for me. If I don't go to the gym, then I'll die, because, you're going to get some heart problems. You're living your sedentary desk job life, and that's going to lead to a lot of problems. I'm sure your joints will start calcifying, your shoulders will get weaker, and yeah, you're going to be stretched and underused, and your body's going to just shrivel. So yeah, it's kind of like a muscle. So I guess I can cycle back to the beginning that I started with, organisms and muscles. So, working out, you get stronger. So, when you do your routine and your schedule, it's gonna suck really badly for a while, but when you maybe after 28 days, they say, that's a rule, after a month, it'll become way easier. Same thing as starting a new diet. When you start a new diet, yeah, it's super difficult. It's like, oh man, I can't eat what I want. I gotta go to the store and buy a vegetable and put it in my refrigerator and save it and eat it. It's like, oh man, that's gonna be really hard. And your body's not gonna get used to it because it's gonna start craving its previous eating lifestyle before. So that's kind of the nature of wanting to grow and change in anything. It's gonna suck really badly for the first 28 days or less, depending how easily flexible and acclimating you are. Goes for anything. I can even kind of compare it to video games. Like, you're gonna suck at the video game, but the more you play it, like Smash Brothers, it's gonna be second nature. And I'm sure it's the same as being bad at flying a plane, or even playing a game where you're just like a level 1 with a shirt and a shield, but then you level up to face stronger monsters and get stronger skills and items. It's kind of how you grow. Pretty sure you guys know all of this already. I guess I'm just spelling out the reality, so it's kind of articulated nice and fresh for you. What else here? So yeah, creative people, it's a little harder. Conscientious people, they're very dutiful and rigid, and conscientious people, they are more prone to the emotion called disgust. So, maybe when they see the laziness in other people, they get disgusted at it, or they choose not to spend their company, their time with people who are who like to chill. So that's just a really extreme example. So it's always good to find a balance in your if you're creative, you want to find a schedule, and if you're very conscientious, then you want to, if you're very dutiful and you're very disciplined, I don't know, maybe try and hang out with some chill people and learn how to relax. For me personally, I guess during one season of my life, relaxing was my discomfort zone. I got very uncomfortable if I was not productive or not doing something. But you need to relax sometimes so you can do your productivity better. They call that compression and contraction, expansion and contraction or something. Yeah. So hope you got something out of that. Kind of done talking. I've reached 27 minutes right now, and the car's getting louder and my voice is getting kind of tiresome. So okay, peace out. I hope my voice was proper so you guys could hear everything. And I know it sounds very monotonous. That's kind of my default speaking style, because as I think, I'm actually reading a teleprompter in my head. I'm very visual, so I'm just and I can only do, maybe the human brain can only do 3 things at a time. So one part of my brain is just creating all these images, and the second one is just robotically kind of describing what I'm thinking of. So alright, well, peace out. Hope you got some value out of that, and see you next time. Subscribe to my videos.